Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth and boy do I have some cross stitch to show you today. I know it's been a while since my last video. Things have been a little bit chaotic in my life, working a lot of hours, not having a lot of daylight to work with. Not that I can't film at night, but it's so much nicer to film during the day. So here I am on the last day of February to show you what I've been working on this whole month. The exciting thing about today is that it's my dad's birthday. Well, kind of. My dad is a leap day baby, and so this year he doesn't get a real birthday, but of course we always celebrate his birthday anyway, usually on the 28th, sometimes on the 1st, sometimes, you know, on the days surrounding. But I'm really excited that it's his birthday, really sad that I don't get to spend it in the same place with him, but we're gonna play some board games later on the internet, and I'm really looking forward to it. On that note, and jumping right into stitching, I have a really exciting finish to show you today that I think is extra special to me because of my dad. So let me show that to you. Okay, so I may have mentioned previously on this channel, I don't know how much I've talked about it, but my dad is a huge fan of Wizard of Oz, has an extensive collection of Wizard of Oz books, although I think Garrett Coffee Stitcher definitely has him beat. I don't think he has as many editions of Wizard of Oz as Garrett does, but nonetheless, my dad used to read Wizard of Oz to me when I was a kid, and I fell in love with it too, and he would do all the voices and everything, which made it so special. I don't think we got through reading all of the books. There are some strange ones there in the middle, but we definitely got through quite a few of them. His favorite is TikTok, and I love that one as well. So, in celebration of my dad's birthday, I have Owl Forest Emerald City finished here to show you. Now, this is the unironed, hard to see, quick little show, and then Editing Beth is going to take a nice close-up panning video of this finish and insert it here while I talk to you about it. So I started this project on August 2nd, 2019, and I finished it, I don't have the exact date, but I finished it in February of this year, and I am so proud of this. This project shows so much of my growth as a stitcher, because when I first started this project, I had never worked with over-dyed floss, so I did the DMC conversion of this chart, and I was not aware of Owl Forest before this pattern came out, and so I didn't realize how strongly variegated their flosses are, and so I just jumped right in with the DMC conversion, not really thinking about it, and started to realize that it wasn't looking like the model picture at all. So I got a little discouraged at the beginning, decided to keep pushing through, and I'm really thankful that I did, because even though it looks really different than the model, I think it looks special and fantastic, as, you know, just as much as the model does. I did some playing around with stuff in this project that I'm really proud of. The tornado specifically, the way that I pulled the variegation, I think I used a DMC variations, and the way that I pulled it, I think I probably did a little bit of fussy stitching to make that happen, but I'm really proud of that. I'm really happy with the way that the Yellow Brick Road turned out. I fussy cut a DMC variation for that as well, and I really tried to get the vibe of the Owl Forest model with alternating the light and and dark yellows and oranges going through that. So really, really pleased with that. I was super scared of the way that the like chartreuse and teal was coming out in the Emerald City, but having it done and looking at it a step back and having those colors present throughout the rest of the piece as well, I think it actually has a really cool effect. And the green metallic is much more of like a classic emerald color, and so I think that really pulls the greens out of the teals and chartreuse, so it's not so blue and yellow. And I'm just so pleased with how that turned out. And then maybe my favorite part of this pattern, the balloon, turned out so cool. And honestly, I think with the teals, I think it looks even cooler than if it had been like a more emerald color. And I stole an idea, borrowed an idea from Garrett Coffee Stitcher to use pearl cotton for the ropes in the balloon. I used B5200, which is what the white is in the rest of the pattern. And I used a size 8 pearl cotton. I was really on the fence about the size, and I think I'm happy with how it turned out. I also added some metallic to this pattern, so I already talked about the emerald color. I added a little bit of gold. The field mice's the queen of the field mice's crown, I think, is a super cute pop of gold. And then we have the, oh, I think this might have been my first time doing over one skin as well. I want to point that out because I'm pretty proud of that. But so now let's talk about the silver shoes. When I was doing this pattern based on, I think specifically based on the field mice and the Good Witch of the North being in this pattern, I knew that I wanted it to be a book pattern and not a movie pattern. So I knew that I wanted the shoes to be silver and not red. And absolutely no shade on anyone who made the shoes red, or, you know, changed the Witch of the West's, you know, face to be green, whatever. Do you, no judgment whatsoever. But I knew that I wanted the shoes to be silver. So, when I first was doing this, back in August of 2019, I pulled out silver Kreinik, and attempted to do that over one. I get the numbers of Kreinik confused, but I think number 4 is the standard one that people use for cross stitch, and I was trying to do that over 1, when normally I would use that same size over 2, and it was a massive struggle. I pulled out Dorothy's shoes so many times that I would like be afraid that if I'd had to pull it out one more time that the fibers would be so loose that you'd be able to see it once I put the stitches back in, or that even I'd accidentally rip a thread based on how many times I pulled those out. I think, looking up close at it, I think what I ended up doing is half stitches. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I ended up doing, is half stitches on the over 1 shoes so that I could cram it all in there. And from far away, I really don't think you could tell that I struggled. I think they look great. It's really just the sparkle that's important. But there are also the silver shoes up at the top where it sort of culminates through, you know, Dorothy returning home. And I've been dreading those forever, since I did the ones down in the bottom right. I guess it was ever since the last part of the pattern came out and I saw that there was more over 1 metallic to do, I've been dreading it. So when it came time to put those in, I really had to stop and think about, is there another way that I can do them so that I don't have to pull my hair out? So I considered looking for a rainbow gallery that would look the same as be the same color as the Kreinik I used at the bottom. You know, maybe I could use blending filament. And then in comes DMC Diamond. So I'm gonna pull down, if you've been looking at the picture of it this whole time, hopefully Editing Beth has been doing that. I'm gonna pull that down and so you can see my face again. So I grabbed some DMC Diamond. This is what it looks like. And I grabbed this months ago and I put it in a video and I said that it was garbage and I hated it. Well, I'm gonna retract that. So online, it's really confusing the way that they list this, because online it says that it is non-divisible thread. But that's just a lie. That's just false. So the struggles that I had with it before were because I was trying to not divide it into strands, because that's what I thought it was telling me to do online. But that's just incorrect. So, as you can see, like can you see it there? The edge is like fraying up. So obviously it should be divisible. I don't know why I didn't just be like, well, screw the website, just divide it. But that's what I've done now. I played around with it a little bit. The strands of this are super, super fine. So I actually needed 2 strands to go over 1 thread of 32 count. So you probably could get away with like 4 to go over 2. But the DMC Grande, or is it the Diamond Grande, is 6 strands. And then there's Diamond Not Grande, and this is 3 strands, but it's the same. But the 3-stranded one, there aren't as many colors available, or maybe the other way around. Maybe the Grande, there aren't as many colors available. But I think all of the ones in the more limited line are also available in the other one. I don't know. I'm not claiming to be a diamond expert here, but so what I did was use the diamond 2 strands over 1 thread of 32 count, and it was amazing. I mean, it's not as nice as just stitching with regular floss. The biggest problem that I had was that the 2 strands would like come through the fabric at different rates, so I really had to like pull on each of them individually after every stitch to make sure that they were both coming through the fabric equally. And still I would get to the end and have 1 strand way, way shorter than the other one. And they also slipped off the needle a lot. So definitely things to consider, but as metallics go, a much better experience for me than trying to use the Kreinik. So for the shoes, in the chart, like if you don't do it in metallic, it's charted in silver for most of it, and then there's like a little bow or a buckle or something on the top that's in white. So I wanted to capture that 2-tone intent, but with metallic. They had a white metallic, but it was sold out everywhere and I couldn't find it. So instead, I used silver for the majority of the shoes. This is G415. And then I used this lighter silver color, and that is D168. I assume the D and the G mean Grande or just regular diamond, but I don't think that matters for the color. So here's what they look like up next to each other. And I'll show you a picture again of what that looks like up close. So I'm really, really happy with those. Anyway, I've now talked about this project for a million years of this video, but I'm just really proud of it. And I appreciate you letting me talk about it. All right. As for FFO plans for this, I'm definitely gonna get it framed professionally. I don't have a framer in mind. I don't want to use Michael's for this one. I really want to get this framed, like without glass, like, you know, puffed out a little bit maybe in the frame. So I'm gonna be sending this off to a framer. I haven't picked one yet. If you have suggestions for me, put them below in the comments. I would very much appreciate it. All right, moving on to the other finish that I have to show you. This is a gift from my brother. This was supposed to be, which by the way, I talked about Emerald City a lot in relation to my dad. It's not a gift for my dad. It's a gift for me. That's gonna hang up in my home. Anyway, so I stitched a gift for my brother. This was supposed to be a Christmas gift for him, but the fabric took too long to get here, so it's gonna be a random March present. So here is the finish. This was a start and a finish. This was a pretty quick stitch. I stitched this on Color and Cotton Witching Hour on 14 count Aida, and I ordered this fabric, I don't know, like November. I did not have high hopes that I would get here by Christmas. Poor Angela is absolutely swamped at Color and Cotton, and absolutely no shade to her for needing to take a little bit of extra time to get to me. I fully expected that. I did buy a piece of just navy Aida to contemplate doing it on a plainer fabric, and I knew that this was gonna be better. So this is a much like grayer blue, but I think I really like the effect that that has on the lake. So the lake is unstitched. My brother and I grew up going to Lake George in upstate New York. My family had a house there, and it's like our favorite place in the whole world. And I think he would probably live there year round if he could. And so I wanted to make him this so that he could think of the lake. So when it's framed, it'll look like this. And so you can see that the fabric that you see is just the unstitched lake part. And when I was stitching this, since it's for my brother, I started out with all of these pastel colors. And I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if this purple and pink project is gonna be what he's gonna wanna hang up in his home. But once I got through to the sun and the mountains and stuff, then I realized, oh, okay, yeah, this is a really cool effect. This is designed by Pigeon Coop. They're a fantastic designer. They design little projects like this. I believe they're like a lot of them, or most of them, all of them are centered around landscapes in Canada. So this is technically a lake in Canada, but who cares? It's a lake. But they have some fantastic landscapes that, you know, they're of Canada, but they really could be of anywhere. So if you like landscapes, if you like mountains or cabins or whatever, they've got all sorts of awesome stuff on their Etsy. So the cover photo has this shown in a round frame. And when I opened up to start stitching, I was surprised to see that the pattern was square. I was not expecting that. I was expecting the pattern to be round. I don't know why, but can you guys hear that outside? I don't know if you can. My boyfriend and my brother are here building I don't know, they're building something. Ooh, that's heat. The camera's overheating. Let's not have that happen. Okay. Anyway, so this was the cover photo was round, and the actual pattern is square. So I thought I was gonna put this in a round frame, but I kind of like it square. So I'm gonna play around with this. 4-inch frames are not like super easy to find, but I'm probably gonna order one off of Etsy. I may just give this to him and help him, let him help me decide how we're gonna frame it. So that's that. Let's move on to FFOs. I know I'm doing this a little out of order than what I normally do, but I'm gonna show you some FFOs. The first FFO I have to show you is something I've been keeping a secret because it was a gift for Athena of Stitching Goddess Designs, and I knew she watched my videos, so I didn't want her to see that I was making this for her. This is a pattern by Funny Ferret Stitch. Hopefully I have a picture of what this looks like on the screen because I've already given it to Athena. And this was a joy to stitch. I did this on a Jobelin fabric that I don't know what it was. And I just had a blast stitching this. I changed the colors a little bit of the called for, and this was the first flat finish that I've ever completed, and I'm just so thrilled with how this turned out. I'm really, really proud of it, and yeah, I'm just very excited. I'm very excited. And she loved it, which is great. And yeah, one thing that I want to show you related to that is that I showed you in a couple videos ago that I got a new paper cutter. It did not do what I needed it to do. It did not cut through the mat board, like at all. I don't know what I was thinking. I bought it based on another stitcher using it in her video for finishing using the same mat board that I have. I don't know if she's got a different blade or something, but it did not work. So I went to Stitching with the Housewives for their advice, and this is what they use. It was cheaper than the other one I bought, so I was like, hell yeah, I'm on it. It's like kind of big and annoying to store, but you know what, whatever. So this is a guillotine style one, so I have it locked right now, but this arm comes up and swings down, and fantastic. Absolutely fantastic at cutting the mat board. Did everything I needed it to do. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, I don't want that to tip over. Okay. Speaking of Stitching with the Housewives, the next finish I have to show you, this was a start and finish and FFO all in February. I stitched this as a little Galentine's gift for a good friend of mine, and the design is by Stitching with the Housewives. So I'm thrilled with how this turned out. I'm trying to remember, as I'm filming this, I don't actually have a picture of it in front of me to look at. So let me pull one up real quick so I can talk about it correctly. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what fabric I used on this. I don't know. I changed a few of the colors as well. But I had an absolute blast stitching this. I think it's super, super cute. And I'm really proud of the finishing too. I think the red palms look super cute. So very, very happy with that. All right, moving right along to my third FFO of the month. So my goal for the year is to FFO at least one thing every month, and for by the end of the year to have at least 6 FFOs that were for me, not for gifts. So I'm not doing great on the for me FFOs, but in January I had no FFOs, so that was a bummer. But this month I have 3, so we're making up for it. Um, so the third FFO I have to share with you is a Christmas gift that I made for a friend of mine that I'm only now just getting to deliver. But I think I showed the finished project on my channel here. But this is Captain Blackmane by Barbie Pedal Pusher. And this is from a series of animals and Halloween costumes that are all super cute. But this one in particular really spoke to me because this friend of mine has horses, and like her horse is a brown Arabian. And so this brown horse was super cute, and also she loves pirates, and she actually worked as a pirate actress on like a tour boat, which is like crazy and awesome. And so when I saw this, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is her in a pattern. So it was a pretty quick stitch. I really enjoyed it. And FFOing it, I really like flew by the seat of my pants. I had the finishing fabric picked out from a couple of months ago, and I just, like, I was pulling out trims to try. I finally have like enough things here. I don't have like a fantastic selection, but I have enough things here that I can like pull out a few options and play with them. So I'm completely thrilled with how this turned out. I know those experienced finishers out there are gonna, you know, have things to criticize about it, but I don't care, and neither does she. So yeah, really, really happy with that. Okay, let's move right along into showing you some whips. Diving right into whips, we have this beautiful Judy bag holding my Christmas piece that I stitched on the 25th of every month. I'll probably keep stitching on this one until it's done. We have Mon Bon Sapin by Jardin Privé. I'll put a picture of what this will look like finished. The fabric is not quite as shockingly bright as it's showing in my camera right now. It's a little bit more muted, but I really love it. This snowflake is quite large. It's going to take up this whole space here. And I'm stitching this in Sulky 12 weight 1071. So that's that one. It's only getting 1 day of progress every month, so that one's going to be a little slow going, but that's okay. Next we have Hanukkah Star by Linda Jean Jenkins. This is in Just Cross Stitch December of 2020 edition. And this again is only getting 1 day of progress every month. I'm stitching this on the 8th for Hanukkah. But I did this gray section. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Belfast in Vintage Smoky White. Next, another piece that is only getting 1 day of progress per month. This is Good Trouble by Whistle Stop Stitcher. And I stitched this on the 6th of every month. That was the day of the attempted Capitol insurrection. And this is on a piece of Fortnite fabrics. This is 32 count even weave in It's About Time. So this is my progress there. I'll put a picture up of what this will look like. I believe I got some more words done and a little bit more of the flowers at the top as well. The white in the flowers blends in a little bit to the fabric, but up close you can really see it, so I think it's all right. Next we have what I stitched on for my Harry Potter stitching for the 7th. I'm doing Harry Potter stitching on the 7th of every month. So this time I stitched on Frogwarts Year 1 by the Black Needle Society. And here is what it looks like. The only thing I worked on is the Philosopher's Stone there in the middle. I totally ripped that out because I didn't like how it looked originally. I ripped it out, put it back in with the DMC conversion, and I like it so much better. So I'm really happy with that. I'm thinking I'm gonna do the same thing with the Knight because I don't know if you can see in person, the blue shadowing is like really royal blue. And I think it was meant to be more of a navy. So I might rip out that blue and put in the DMC conversion for that as well. I feel like I'm just taking one step forward and one step back on this project. But that'll be done at the very least before Frogwarts next year. Or I mean this year. This July. Sorry, I am flying through these, but I am trying to get done so that I can play board games with my dad. So the next piece I worked on during the Lost in Austin Spill the Tea event with the Black Needle Society. I worked on Pride and Prejudice by Stitching Book Club. This one I keep oscillating between like, I have so much left to go and oh my god, I'm almost done. I worked some in the border. I'm almost done with the border. I just have a little bit of detail left. And then I worked on some of the blue fill-in on the tables in the middle, and I added the red flowers in the middle. So slow and steady progress on this. I feel like if I really put in some concerted effort on that, I could get it done decently quickly. So maybe that'll be my next push for a finish. Either that or Frogwarts, both of them really could get finished with a push. Next we have my Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 sampler. And wait, just have this sheet of fabric. Here we go. So I am not trying to stay caught up with this, but I am trying to get a decent amount of progress in this every month. So I think the goal is probably one part every 2 months. So I'll get halfway done this year. So here's my progress. As you can see, I'm still not done with part 1 and it is the last day of the month. So I'm hoping that I'll have some time to work on this tonight. I think it's pretty optimistic to think that I could finish this part tonight, but never say never. But it'll get finished, you know, in 1 or 2 sessions of working on it. So that's great. I'm absolutely loving this project. I love every second of working on this. I'm stitching that on 40 count platinum in 3750 and 932, I think. Next, and I can say this out loud because my boyfriend is outside. He's working in our garden, our brand new garden. I'm very excited. I keep this in a Love You More sleeve. Oh, I keep the Modern Folk Embroidery in a Love You More sleeve as well. This is my blackwork chessboard that I'm stitching for my boyfriend. I'm trying to get it done before his birthday next year. His birthday's coming up in about 3 weeks, so we're getting down to the 1 year mark. 1 year to go. So my goal on this is to complete 3 fills, 3 squares per month. So I did that in January. February is a short month and it is hurting my ability to make my goals. So I only completed 2 squares on this. I also, sorry, it's just so much fabric. I also am being harmed by the fact that my boyfriend is always here. So finding a time to work on this when he's not going to see it is very challenging. So he does go to work occasionally when he needs to be in his lab, and so I am able to work on it then, but this month he just didn't have very much he needed to go in for, which for, you know, COVID health reasons is fantastic, and for me having time to work on this, not so great. So I did this one, and this one last month, and then these 2 I did this month. And I specifically like went in this weird order because I knew that I was gonna have trouble making my goal because of how little time I had to work on this month, and so I this black right here is very, very dense, so I specifically did not pick it this time to work on. I also want to show you a technique that I use while working on this project. This works for any black work that you want to do. Sometimes it can be really tricky to find the path that you want to take through the black work, especially when you're doing black stitching on white fabric and you can, you can see the stitching through the fabric if you, if you carry across the back. So I'm very careful about the path that I take through my black work. I don't want to show too much of the pattern, but I do want to show you that I will take a piece of graph paper and I will draw out the pattern in different colored pens, showing the different paths. So like the orange is, I'm going to take that down on one side of the leaf, and then I'm going to go down the other side on a different path. So I don't know if you can see that very well. I really don't want to show too much of the pattern to you, but I find that to be really helpful. So if you're ever struggling with black work, that's my tip. It also helps familiarity with the pattern, because sometimes you can look at a black work fill and like, I have no idea even where to start. Like it can be just hard to wrap your head around the design and the way that it all fits together. And just drawing it out, even if you don't care about the paths, even if you just take the time to draw out what you're doing on a piece of paper, you don't have to do the whole thing. Like if you're doing a big fill, you could just, you know, draw out a little section, but if you draw it out, it helps wrap your brain around like, what are the different shapes in here and how do they fit together? It helps too if you're adding multiple colors to black work. I don't typically do that, but I know a lot of people do. If you want to you know, make the inside squares all a different color, you know, something like that. If you draw it out on paper, it helps to really see the different shapes come out. All right, so my final whip to show you is a really exciting one. This one I may also, depending on how much editing energy I have, I may also film an up-close pan through of this one, because I got all the way across the top on my Harry Potter covers. How exciting is that? I could not be more excited. I can see my camera telling me that it wants to shut off because of the battery. But yeah, I finished this page right here and it looks so cool all together. I just can't get over how great this looks. So next page I'm going to do is this one down here. I'm going to work in these parked threads because I haven't really been parking on this project now that I'm using Pattern Keeper, specifically because of the way that the design just goes down. I haven't really needed to park. So yeah, loving that. And this project is about to reach its birthday I started this on March 24th, 2019. So I think it'd be really cool if I could get like a page finish to celebrate its birthday, but I want to be realistic. I don't think that's gonna happen. The pages are like 4,000 stitches or something. So that feels unlikely, but if I could get some great progress on that next page for its birthday, that'd be super cool. All right, first start to show you, I'm keeping in a So Much to Love project bag. This is Our Hearts by Brenda Gervais. I'll put up a picture of what that looks like finished. And I started this for Valentine's Day / Athena's birthday. So I got the entire first band done. And I'm in love with this. I think this is fantastic. And I could just keep on stitching this until it's done. I am stitching this on a piece of Color and Cotton Vanilla 40 count with all of the called for floss. Next, new start to show you. I decided I wanted to start something for Black History Month. And the reason that I wanted to start something for Black History Month is, oh gosh, I am making a mess of this, is that Black History Month gets in a little bit of a sticky situation in that, like, Black people are more than just 1 month of the year. But that's kind of the cool part about a cross stitch project, is that I am gonna start it in Black History Month, but then I work on it for the whole year. So I think that's kind of a cool metaphor, and I really wanted to do that. So I pulled out this piece that I have been dying to start. So excited that I finally started it. Now, this is Natural Beauty 3 by Mistigri, which is, I got it from Philanthrope Embroidery. Or maybe Mistigri is the name of the, no, I think it's designed by Mistigri. And I got it from Philanthrope Embroideries, which is a French company. This is a French designer. I got the full kit. And so it came with the Aurifil flosses that are called for. I knew nothing about Aurifil when I purchased this. And then the directions, excuse me, I have the hiccups. The directions came, and the directions are all in French. So the other thing is that the fabric is printed, so with like a pattern on it. So I mean, it's not like a stamped pattern, but like it's got a design that you stitch on top of. And so I needed help understanding like where I was supposed to start, and all of the instructions were in French. Thankfully, Google Translate came to my aid. So fun tip, Google Translate, you can like take a picture and it'll translate the text in your picture. Worked like a charm, so fantastic. So I learned that the Aurifils, you have to stitch just like, it's just, you know, you pull a strand. It's not, like Aurifils are not 6-stranded like DMZ, they're just single strand. There are also a lot of blends in this pattern, but that's quite all right. So here is the progress that I made. So as you can see, just the highlights of her face are stitched. The amusing part is that what I stitched does not look like a Black woman. But as you can tell in the picture, like all of the highlights of her cheeks and nose is what I stitched. And the reason is because that's just where there was like a small little cross on the pattern to tell me where to start, where to put the middle. And so I just started there and, you know, started stitching around it. And that's what happened. but that's okay. So I'm gonna keep working on this because I'm obsessed with it, and this is gonna get love all year round. And one thing that I'm doing with the blends is that when I have some left over, I am punching a hole in an index card and I'm putting the leftover blend bit with the symbol so that I can use it again. Anyway, I'm stitching this in a color conversion 327. The other DMC is 3779. And then I'm using the called for Classic Colorworks Cherry Tomato. And I love that. And I started that during the stitching event with Black Needle Society. So that was super fun. All right, I'm gonna go let my camera charge. I'm gonna go play board games with my dad, and I'll come back later this afternoon and show you some haul. And plans. I have exciting plans today. All right, it's clearly much later in the day, but I'm back. I played board games with my dad and had a great time, and now I should be able to continue with the video with much fewer distractions. I have my camera all charged now. Everything should be fine. And hopefully the lighting's not too bad with the sun going down. All right, so we're gonna talk about things a little out of order from what I usually do in my videos because I have a lot of plans to talk about and I don't really want to delegate that to the last minute. So, first, I'm going to put on the screen what my whip go board looks like for the moment. Hopefully, I've also included a key for the colors, what they mean. But I am feeling pretty good about where I stand with whip go for the moment. I have some things outstanding other than what was just called for March, but I also have completed some things that haven't been called yet. So I think overall I'm feeling pretty good about where that is. And I just use my whip-go board, what's been called, as a guide for when I have options for what to pull, then I'll pull something that whip-go is asking me to work on. Next, in plans, I have been enabled by y'all on Instagram. I'm gonna participate in the, oh my gosh, what's the hashtag? It's been a hell of a year, Sal, I think. And that is the Sal for Sarcy Girls Pandemic 2020 Sampler. Hopefully I said all of that correctly. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen of what that looks like. I fell in love with this the second I saw it. I think it's absolutely stunning. But I didn't have any plans to start it anytime soon because I have a lot of other big projects going and this one's not small. But then a bunch of people put together a sale to start it and I kept seeing pictures of it on my feed every day and I just have to jump on the bandwagon. I can't stay away. So I've kitted it up. I went ahead and purchased a piece of 40 count anthracite. I believe it's a Zweigart. And yep, it's a Zweigart. And I think it's pretty close to the called for fabric. The called for fabric was dyed by the designer and she included a recipe for dyeing it if you want to dye it yourself. But I'm not that interested in dyeing fabric. I would rather just buy something that captures the essence of the color palette that I fell in love with, because truly I wanted to stitch on the called for fabric for this because it was the color palette that really drew me in. So I saw somebody else stitching on anthracite and So I decided to buy it and see how I thought it would look, and I think it's a really good match. I think it's a little grayer than the called for. I think the called for is slightly bluer, but I think it'll be great. I think it'll be fantastic. So let me show you what all the flosses look like on the fabric. It's gonna be a little bit jumbled because there's a bunch of them, but I'll do my best. So here's the palette. And again, the sun has gone down now, so the colors are not going to be as good. But these oranges and blues are just so me. They're so me. So I cannot wait to start this. I think the sale starts on the 1st of March. So that's my plan, is to start at the 1st of March. I'm keeping it in a Love You More sleeve snuggle, and so it's like a plaid flannel with leaves on the inside. It's like the perfect vibe for the for this project. So that's my March 1st start. Then we have Steel City Stitchers hosting the March Stitchy Madness event. Not that they're like hosting it, but it's their idea. They started it, and I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon of that too. This was one, again, I wasn't planning to do this because I have a lot of goals for every month. And I didn't want to compromise those goals by picking new goals. But I think I found a way to not be too intrusive of the existing goals that I have, and to also maybe just feed into those goals as well. So once I decided I was going to participate in Stitchy Madness, I really got into it, and I decided that I wanted to have a theme around the projects I included so that it would help me narrow down what I was going to include, because otherwise I was too overwhelmed by the choices. So I've decided on an animal theme for my entire bracket, and then each of the original matchups in the bracket have their own like paired theme as well. So I'm going to take you through my bracket. I'm going to show you the projects that I have picked, and then March 1st we're going to jump into it. So I'll put my bracket on the screen here so you can see. What I've decided to do is to start with just 100 stitches in the first round. So I'll start with the first project on the list, and stitch 100 stitches on it on March 1st. Then the second project will get, excuse me, I've had hiccups all day. It's hours later and I still have the hiccups. Anyway, so March 1st, I'll get 100 stitches on the first project. Then March 2nd, we'll get 100 stitches on the second project, all the way down through the first 8. And then I'll do an Instagram vote on those matchups, and then whatever wins will move on to the next round. And in round 2, I'll do I think I decided 250 stitches a day. And then whatever moves on to the next round is gonna get 400 stitches in a day. I'm a little worried about that one. Sometimes I can get 400 stitches no problem in a day. Sometimes that's a real struggle. So those might take 2 days. I'm okay with that. But those 2 projects will get 400 stitches each, and then I'll do a vote between those 2, and then whatever is the winner, I'm not gonna try and do a finish of like the original March Madness idea, because I wanted to be able to include projects that were too far away from a finish. But I will commit to put at least 1,000 stitches into the project that wins. So the project that wins will end up getting, what is it, 1,000 plus 400 plus 250 is 165 plus 100, so 1,750 stitches. Did I do that math right? On the project that wins. And then every other project will get, at least 100 stitches. And I have separated my bracket into half whips, half new starts, so that's very exciting. So let me take you through the matchups. I'm going to show you what my whips look like and the kitted new starts that I have planned. So the first matchup is between, sorry, I did not organize this before I started. Of course not. The first matchup is, they both got birds and berries. So I've got Savor Every Stitch by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'll put a picture of what that will look like finished here. And that's how far I am. So this is a project that could possibly get a finish if it made its way through the bracket. I started this in Mania of last year. All right, also from Luminous Fiber Arts, I did not do that on purpose, but following the birds and berries theme, I'll show a picture, Gathering Berries, and I have that kitted up with a piece of 40 count birch. It's like a yellowy khaki, and Belsois silk in cranberry. The color in my office is not going to do that justice at all, but it's a beautiful silk. I believe it's the called for, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So in the next matchup, I picked projects with bunnies in them. So the whip that I picked is Carrot Forest by Owl Forest Embroidery. I will put a picture of what that will look like completed. So the bunnies are not really the focus of this project, but they are peppered throughout the design and they're super cute. So this is the progress. Whoops. I just knocked my sulky onto the ground. So that's the progress that I have so far, and I think 1,700 stitches on this would make some really fantastic progress. I tried to pick I tried to pick whips that were sort of on the back burner because it's nice to give love to a project that otherwise probably would languish just a little bit. So the new start bunny that I'm gonna do is Spring Hair by, I think by Heart and Hand. I'm gonna put a picture of that here. It is in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher Spring 2020 edition, I believe. So I have the called for threads here, and I picked out a nice piece of fabric I had in my stash. I picked Aged Paper 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton. So that's what that will look like. Not too complicated at all. And I did not go and count how many stitches are in this project, but it's not very big, so this could get finished or get really close if it makes it all the way through the bracket. All right, next matchup, we have woodland animals. Primarily foxes. Both of these projects have foxes. So the whip that I picked is my Woodland Animals Sal by Doreen Jones. I'll post a picture of what that will look like completed. And here's where I am now. I am not totally finished with this owl here. There's still a little bit left to go on it. And then there's, you know, a bunch more animals. I think there's 12 animals in total. And there is a fox all the way down at the bottom of the piece. I will not actually be stitching on the fox, just because I don't want to count all the way down there. And the new start to go with that is Light by Barbara Anna. And I am doing the Michelle Bendy Stitchy conversion. I absolutely fell in love with like her particular rendition of this project. I just thought it was so cool looking. So I did pick up some 32 count Havana, which is the fabric that she used for hers. And I did pick up all of the Sulky that she chose. I can't hold it all in my hand, but I've got it all here. And I'm keeping it in this gorgeous Judy bag that just really captures the vibe, even though it's a different animal. And the last mashup, I keep saying mashup, the last match-up that I have is blackbirds. Birds that are black. I know that the animal that is blackbird is not the same as the animal that is a crow or a raven. They're all like technically different. However, I have two projects with birds that are black in them. So, my whip is Raven's Reply by Luminous Fiber Arts. No, it was not intentional that I have 3 Luminous Fiber Arts projects in this bracket. It's a complete accident. But I love all 3 of them, so. I think all I have left on this project is filling in the border. So that could definitely see a finish. I'm a little worried it could see a finish even before getting all the way through the bracket, but if that happens, then it'll just be an automatic win for whatever it was up against. And then that will go up against Blackbird by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. This was released just as a freebie on their Instagram. I don't have a pattern that's a better format than just a screenshot from their Instagram. If anybody knows of this pattern existing like in an actual pattern format, let me know. But I'm pretty sure that's all there ever was of this pattern. So I have a beautiful blue Aida fabric to do that on. I'm trying to see what this fabric is called. I don't have the sticker. Oh, wait. Here we go. This is Picture This Plus J, 16 count. So, I had picked to stitch this with, I think it was Gentle Arts Blackbird. I forget, but it was a thread called Blackbird, and when I took a closer look, it was actually quite brown, and I really wanted the more black color for this piece and also on this fabric. So I ended up taking it out of this bag, which, by the way, is this bag. This is another Judy bag. But I did get some haul that I think will be perfect for this project. So I'll just show this piece and I'll show the rest in a few minutes. But I got from Almond M&M's, I got some silk. And it's just black. It's not super variegated. It has a little bit of gray in it, but I think that will be lovely on this fabric. I haven't actually opened these yet. I was cracking up at Athena in her video opening up all of her almond M&Ms on camera, and now I'm doing it. Ooh, the label got a little bit stuck to the fabric, or to the thread. But that is just beautiful. So I did some quick counting, and I think one skein will be enough to stitch this whole project. I will stitch it a little bit strategically, just in case it's not enough. But I think it'll be enough. Just because Almond M&M's is such a new dyer, I would be worried that I wouldn't be able to get another skein of it that's similar enough. And maybe I totally could, I don't know. I just don't really want to bank on that. But I'm like 99.5% sure that I'll be able to stitch the whole thing in that one skein. I'll probably be a little bit judicious with how much I'm wasting. Usually I waste quite a lot. But I probably will be a little careful with that one just to make sure I have enough. So that's my March Madness bracket. I'm really, really excited about, yeah, I think it's really fun to occasionally have a month where, oh God, looking forward to these hiccups going away. I love occasionally having a month where I have a lot of plans and really pushing me forward, and then I'll take a couple months after that where it's a little lighter and I can just, you know, stitch what I want, catch up on some goals if I need to. But every so often I like having this push like this. All right, so I think those are all my plans. Let's jump into haul. Since I showed the silk that I got from Almond M&M's, I'm gonna just show you the rest that I got. I'm a little bit worried about how much these labels stuck to the floss. Hopefully it'll be okay. So I got 6, I think. I got 6 flosses. So I got the black one called Raven, and then I got this gray, and that is called Frosty Slate. These are 8-yard skeins, by the way. Then I got, this one is called Tantalizing Teal. That's a fun color. I really should have done this before my video. But they were just so cute. They come in these little tiny wraps. Okay, so this is the teal one. Gosh, that is stunning. That is so beautiful. Next we got Emerald City. And I had to get it because of the name, right? Not that the color is not beautiful, because it is. But I had to narrow it down somehow because all of her colors are beautiful. Although, as you can see, I really went for the colors that aren't quite as variegated, and I did that on purpose because I don't love hyper variegated floss. It's not that I don't like how it looks when it's stitched up. I don't enjoy stitching with it. you have to think about the path that you're stitching in too much. Sorry, here's what the Emerald City looks like. And they're so soft. Anyway, you have to think about what the path that you're stitching in is gonna be like. Way harder than I enjoy. I already am thinking about that kind of stuff in terms of like, where am I gonna go next, or what do I need to stitch so that I can count to the things I need to get to, and just like adding another thing I have to think about on top of that, it just feels like work to me, and I don't like it. So like the border that I'm doing for Carrot Forest, it's very, very strongly variegated, and it like goes from brown to green, so it's very dramatic. I have to think really hard about how I'm doing it, and I have to stitch in directions that are not natural for me. Like on Carrot Forest, I stitch up and down on the top border, and I stitch side to side on the side borders. And the up and down parts, I hate it. I hate stitching up and down, but I really need to do that in order for the color to pool in a way that makes sense. So that's why, very long story long, that's why I went for some of the more solid or subtle variegated options. This color is not really showing up true. It's showing up too coral. It is a rosy pink, and it is called Rosé. And then the last one is called Wine, and this color is like right up my alley. Whoop. Here's Wine. It's a beautiful like burgundy purpley color. I just love that. So here's all the ones I got, plus the black one. So I'm gonna try these out, and if I like them, then I might be interested in like a hank for something like Pandemic or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, thank you to Ymir. She sent such a lovely note with the package, and I think it's awesome to support her and her new business. I also started watching her Flosstube, which I highly recommend as well. Okay, so on the theme of silk, I joined Fat Quarter Shop's NPI club. So I get 5 skeins of NPI every month, and they're all in these like color stories. So January was blue. I just paid my invoice for February, so that should be coming soon, hopefully. I think February is gonna be pink. Anyway, so these are the colors that I got in January. And they are all so beautiful and so up my alley. I'm sure not every pack will be like, these are my colors, but it's nice to start off on a good foot, right? So this came with 561, 563, 565, 566, and 568. And these are all 5 meters. I don't know what that translates to in yards. Let's ask the internet. 5 meters to yards. Okay, that's like 5.5 yards. So these are smaller skeins than these, even though, because this one is like longer, kind of makes it look like there's more, but these are smaller. That's okay. I'll definitely, you know, just find small things to use these for, or slot these into other projects. I don't really know what I'll do with them yet, but I want to start experimenting with silk, and I thought this would be a fun way to do it. Okay, let's move on to patterns. I only have a few to show you today. I've been trying really hard to cut down on my purchasing. This is a whole month's worth of purchasing that I'm showing you, so I'm very proud of myself. I purchased from the same designer that is doing the Pandemic 2020 sampler. I purchased her new witch pattern. I don't have the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll put a picture of it right here. I bought this thing so freaking fast. I'm not a Halloween stitcher. It's a little bit shocking that this called to me so strongly, but it's really the colors. The colors are so compelling to me, but also I just think it's really cute and very much my style. And I like to, the Halloween things that really speak to me, I'm happy to stitch because it makes me feel a little bit included in the Halloween club, even though I'm not really a Halloween stitcher. All right, then I made, let me finish the digital ones first. I'm a little scattered. I don't have ADHD. Not me, never. So I picked up, and see, me with my ADHD, I'm not prepared with the designers for these, so let me get that pulled up. I purchased from Sage Bundle Stitches this adorable pattern. And this is a reference to the show Firefly, for any who may not be aware. But you know what? I can't speak. Can't speak. Anyway, I swear, by my pretty floral bonnet, I will end you. And then the other pattern that I grabbed this month was from Good Morning Maui. They were doing a sale recently. It might even still be going on. It was, I think it's February and March, 20% off sale. So highly recommend taking a look at Good Morning Maui. Athena let me know that there was a sale going on in this shop, and I am proud of myself that I only came out with one purchase. Obviously there's still time, but I think this is gonna be the only one. So this one is of all of the little creatures at the beginning of Elf, and I just thought this was so cute. I could not pass it up. The quote of this says, "The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear." And I think that quote is adorable, and I might keep it, but I'm also considering changing the quote to, "Bye, buddy, hope you find your dad," because that's my favorite quote from that movie, and I quote it all the time, and so does my boyfriend. And the narwhal who says that is in this design. So I might change the quote. I don't know, we'll see. So those are the digital purchases that I made. And then I made a slightly larger order to Bothy Threads because I saw, so these are all kits that I got. I think they only sell kits. But I saw this kit shown in a Facebook group that I'm in and immediately was like, that is the coolest concept. I have to stitch that. So I got this squirrel, and it's so cool because, sorry about the glare, I'm not gonna take it out of the plastic. The middle is all cross stitch, and then the outside is, like the border part is back stitch, like black work, but it connects like to the cross stitch part of the picture. It's just like such a clever concept. It looks like it might use some like half stitches too in the border part. I just think it's so creative and different. I did look at all the other animals. This design is the one that I saw on Facebook. I did look at all the other animals that they had available. There were some other really fantastic ones, but some of the ones that I saw in this series, the cross stitch part didn't interact as much with the border. This one has the whole branch like going through it, and some of them, like, there wasn't as much interaction with what was happening in the border, and that was the stunning part to me, and so I ended up just going with the original one that I saw on Facebook. And then, because I was ordering from them and they're in the UK, I wanted to make sure it was worth my shipping. So I made other purchases. And they all appear to be winter or Christmas themed, of course. So I got this one, and they're all sort of like blackwork or specialty stitch trees, which I think is super cute. These are like marketed to be greeting cards, but I will probably not do them as cards. Then I got Christmas greetings, which just makes me laugh. And I think is very cute. Just his sweater, he just looks so happy. Look at that Christmas. That is not the only Christmas I have in my stash, but this one is much smaller than the other one, so I'm sure it will get done much more quickly. Then I got this snowflake tree, and it's got some beads like in between the snowflakes, which it comes with everything. And then I got these really pretty stars that are all blackwork. And as you can see, this is gonna be some metallic fun. I don't know that I realized that when I purchased this. I don't know what kind of metallic floss these are, and I'm a little bit scared. There's metallic in all of these, I think. Well, yep, there's metallic in this one, but it's like one strand of metallic in there. Yeah, there's like one strand of metallic in here. And this one, like the little stars on top of the trees are all metallic. There's even some metallic in this squirrel. There's metallic right here, but I can't really see where in the pattern it goes. It might be around the edge, or it might be like in these berries here. But regardless, all of these, like the metallic is very much not the focus, and it's just a little bit here and there. This one appears to be like the entire freaking thing. So I'm a little worried that I've made a mistake with that. But I think if I hate the metallics that are included, I can always switch them out to something that I hate less. Or I could even do them just in regular thread. So I always have a fail-safe there. Something I am just now remembering. I did know this when I purchased it, but I'm just now remembering that there's a snail in this squirrel one. Yay! So that was my Bothy Threads order. By the way, if you live in the US and you're nervous about ordering from Bothy Threads, I highly recommend doing it. It was super easy to order through them, and it came so fast. It took maybe a week, maybe a week and a half. It was like very fast. A friend of mine from Canada also ordered from them and also got it very quickly. So don't hesitate. Really, really enjoyed ordering from them. This particular design came from like a different line. I think it's the Derwenter designs. There's like a separate section on the Bothy Threads website for these designs. So if you're looking for this one specifically, make sure you look under the Derwenter designs. Okay. Next in haul, I got a bendy flip. I ordered this ages ago from Michelle's Bags Plus live sale, and then this got something happened to it in the mail, got sent back to her, so I finally received it, and it's fantastic. I love it. I have one other of these, and I really, really like them for traveling. They're also nice for like if I just need to load up some bobbins to take down to the living room. Fantastic. And then finally, in my Stitchy haul, I kitted up a new project. I like to do this from time to time just to order the supplies I need for a project, even if I'm not like trying to start it right away. But I really like this project and I want to be able to start it whenever I am ready for it. So I kitted up ink circles. Oh my god, what is it called? After the Roses? Is that the right name for it? I think so. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put a picture of what it will look like. So I got all of the called for threads, and I was able to get the called for fabric as well. I had to put this fabric on on alert on 123 Stitch so that it would let me know when it was available. So I was able to pick some up. It's just PTP sand, 32 count linen. And like, there's nothing super special about this fabric. It's not like I couldn't have used some other neutral, but for me, when I don't have like a specific different vision, it's just like so much easier for me. It takes so much less brain power to just order the called for, especially because I don't have an LNS to go and like put floss in front of fabric and try to, you know, figure out what I want to do. And if I don't have something in my stash that I think is perfect, a lot of times I'll just buy the called for. So that's what I did. And because I don't have any urgency for starting this, I don't have like a date plan that I'm going to start it, I really had no problem waiting for it to become available. I actually do have a couple other things to show you related to stitching. So first, I want to show you from my friend Connie from Count Twice, Stitch Once. She has started making like thread drop jewelry and like floss ring jewelry. And so she made me this one out of some Jane Austen art. And it has a little teacup charm on it. And so she made this for me and a couple of our friends because we were going to the Jane Austen Black Needle Society event. So that was super nice of her. Thank you so much, Connie. Next, I got a couple of new needle minders. You might have missed it, but when I showed Our Hearts in my new start section, that pomegranate needle minder is new, and I got it just for that project because that project has pomegranate on it, and I just like pomegranates. But from that same shop, which is Quail Valley Creations, I also got two more. I got an owl and a succulent. And her needle minders are really cool because the back of them have like, I don't know what this is, like a gem rock, geode, something. I don't know what you call this, but little sparkly rocks glued to the back of them, which just make them stand out a little bit, make them a little bit fun. Also, I got a very belated Christmas present from my boyfriend's parents. And I got a Grinch needle minder, which I love. I think he's awesome. And I love the Grinch. I think that's everything I wanted to show you in haul. For my Stitchy haul. I do have some pins to show you. I know this video is running really long, but I have pins to show you. So if you're interested in that, stick with me. If not, you can peace out. But before I get to pins, real quick, I want to celebrate the birthday of one of my projects. Let me go grab it. This project had its birthday on February 20th. I started it in 2019. And I am less than halfway through. But here's my piano. I haven't stitched on it in a little bit, but I wanted to bring it out, show it some love, remind myself why I love it, and say out loud, I really, really don't want this to have a third birthday. I don't know if my plans are structured to enable that, but I would really love for this to not have a third birthday. So just putting that thought out into the universe. Okay, I'm gonna pull all my pins and then I will show them to you. The first pins I have to show you come from, I think the designer of these are Amazing Creations. I think. So this is a Kickstarter I supported. So we have Stitch and we have Doug. And there were a few in this Kickstarter that were stretch goals that I really, really wanted that didn't get funded. And I was kind of bummed. Stitch was not my first choice, but that's okay. Next, I got this absolutely stunning and gargantuan pin with Thestral connected to the, whatever this is called, carriage. This is from Mo.Pins. Also from Mo.Pins. Where did it go? I lost it. Here we go. I got a Captain Marvel pin. Next, I got my Mad Unicorn monthly club pin. And this is Tonks. This was from a Kickstarter I supported. The designer is Bumble NB. And this is a Luna pin. And it's huge. This is a gigantic pin. And I also got thrown in there from the designer a mooncalf sticker with a Luna necklace and glasses. I think that's super cute. Next, from the Pink Owl, I got this cool Yule Ball music box with Hermione and Crumb dancing. And I think that's a stunning pin. I don't have anything like this. It's very beautiful. This is a belated holiday gift that I was very excited to receive. This comes from Paola's Pixels, I believe. Yep, Paola's Pixels. And this is a D&D themed pin for bards, because I play a bard right now. So that is super cute and I really appreciate it. The glare is making it a little hard to see. Oh, there we go. There you can see it. Now, these last two pins are like, it is unreal how cool these concepts are. So this particular pin, the packaging of it is like I almost can't take the pin out of the packaging, which has never happened to me before. It's never happened to me before. So this is how it came. And it's got wall graffiti, but like bathroom graffiti on this side. And then the actual pin. And then this like pretend roll of toilet paper. So here's the pin. It says, wipe feet before entering. There's a place to put your feet. And then this opens. And the light in here is horrible and you're not really going to be able to see it. But there's like this beautiful swirly like pearl green color underneath there. How amazing. Oh, I just can't get over how cool this pin is. So, so cool. And then finally, in this really cool drawstring bag that I will definitely be keeping, we have this monstrous pin from Muggleborn Sisters, one of my favorite designers. This Hufflepuff badge pin, and there's so much going on in the background of it. I don't know if you can even see all of it, but there's like pumpkins and flowers, and there's like a chocolate frog card down there, and here's the Hufflepuff cup with a badger on it, and there's a badger inside of the P. Like, the glare is gonna make it so hard for you to see. There's like a very angry mandrake over here. This is such a cool pin, and it's like as big as my palm. This pin is gigantic. It only has 2 things on the back, but it's heavy and it's absolutely beautiful. They have all 4 of the houses for these pins. I highly recommend checking them out. I was concerned that it wouldn't be worth the money for these. Absolutely worth the money. I think the Hufflepuff one is my favorite, but really all of them are very cool, and I may consider collecting the rest of them eventually. So cool. All right, I really think I'm done now. I think that's everything I had to show you. This video has been a million years long with so many cuts in the middle. I think I have like 7 or 8 files to mash together. So thank you very much for sticking with me through this gargantuan video. I will try so hard to not go the entire month of March without making a video so that we can break it up a little bit. But I can't make any promises. If I keep my office clean, then I'll be able to just, you know, record a video at the drop of a hat. Might be some motivation to do some cleaning. Y'all know I won't. Okay, I'm getting punchy. I think it's time for me to go eat dinner and weirdly play some more board games on the internet because apparently that's what I'm doing with my Sunday. I will see all of you in a couple of weeks, hopefully, and I will see you on Instagram for March Madness. Please go vote for me for all my matchups and help me find the project that's gonna get the most love in March. And I will talk to you next time.